Can I actually overcome the emotional baggage from being forced to grow up too fast? That's the question, isn't it? Because right now, your inner child isn't a playful toddler. It's a 45-year-old accountant named Gary who's stressed about property taxes and has a persistent eye twitch. You were the easy kid, the one who didn't scream for candy because you'd already calculated the household's debt-to-income ratio at age 9. You weren't a child, you were a tiny, unpaid emotional consultant. Today, we're dissecting forced maturity, why your old soul is actually just trauma in a trench coat. Stick around, because I'm going to reveal the competency trap, the exact reason your dating life feels like an unpaid internship for people who can't do their own laundry. You see, you didn't just grow up. You were drafted into the adult league before you even lost your baby teeth. Psychology calls this parentification, but I call it the great childhood heist. While other kids were eating dirt, you were the family's emotional thermostat. If mom was crying, you were the one handing out tissues and suggesting chamomile tea like a miniature Victorian butler. You learned to read a room faster than a bomb squad technician. You weren't mature, you were a survivalist in a Gap Kids hoodie. The problem is that this survival mode never actually turned off, and now it's sabotaging your adult life in ways that feel like a constant low-grade fever. The most glaring symptom is what I call hyper-independent burnout. You feel like a total fraud if you aren't being productive. Sitting on the couch for an hour feels like a moral failure, so you relax by reorganizing your spice rack or answering emails at 11 p.m. Your brain has been wired to believe that your only value is your utility. If you aren't solving a problem, you feel invisible. This creates a massive fun deficiency. You find spontaneity physically painful. If a friend calls and says, "Let's go on a road trip right now," your brain doesn't see adventure, it sees a lack of a spreadsheet, uncalculated fuel costs, and a looming threat to your carefully maintained order. You've grown an executive function muscle the size of a watermelon, but your joy muscle is a withered grape. You're a God-tier crisis manager, but if someone asks what you want for dinner, you short-circuit. Gary, the accountant, starts screaming because there isn't a correct answer that optimizes everyone else's happiness. This flows directly into your relationships, which, let's be honest, are often just rescue missions in disguise. Because you are a professional fixer, you are a lighthouse for every broken bird within a 50-mile radius. You don't have partners, you have projects. You find yourself dating people who have the life skills of a golden retriever, and then you wonder why you're so exhausted. It's because you're not a partner. You're a pro bono life coach for people whose needs always come before yours because you look like you have it together. You've become the strong one, which is just a fancy way of saying the one whose needs everyone consistently ignores. So, can you actually overcome it? Yes, but it requires the most terrifying skill in the world: strategic incompetence. To heal, you have to learn to be a disaster on purpose. You spent your childhood being perfect just to stay safe. Now you need to prove to your brain that the world doesn't end when you stop being the solution. Start by doing things you're objectively bad at. Buy a coloring book and color outside the lines. Tell someone, "I don't know," when they ask for advice. Let a laundry basket sit unfolded for 3 days. The goal isn't to become a toddler, it's to realize that your maturity was a suit of armor you wore during a storm. The storm is over. You can take the suit off. It's going to feel clunky and you're going to feel exposed, but the air feels a lot better on your skin than the cold metal of responsibility. If you were born 40 years old and you're currently exhausted, comment the word "retired" below. Let's start an early retirement club for the responsible ones who are finally ready to be a little bit immature. Hit that subscribe button to rewire your brain without the boring lectures. We're firing Gary today. Go do something completely unproductive. That's an order. See you in the next one.